Hi again. So in my last video, How to Tell If Your Interview is Going Well, I mentioned something about questions and how interviewers absolutely love it when you ask questions, and how you can possibly turn your interview around by asking questions when given that opportunity. So I thought I'd spend a couple of videos talking specifically about questions, including why you want to ask questions, how to appropriately formulate your questions so that it has the best impact, and what kinds of questions you might want to consider asking in your interview. Today I'll talk about the reasons why you would want to ask questions in an interview. Why is it so important? I have about 4 reasons. The first reason is something I mentioned in a previous video. You want to show your interviewer just how curious you are. You want to show them that you're really excited about this opportunity and that this interview matters to you. It's not just some interview, that you are fully prepared for it. So you want to ask questions because it showcases that you're interested. Regardless of whether you actually are interested, this is the perception that you will give, and this is the perception that you want to give. Also keep in mind that, when you're in the beginning of your career, yes, you do have internship experience. Yes, you may have worked at other companies before. But your interviewer understands that you really don't have that much experience. And so while yes, they are looking at your resume, they are going to ask you questions about what you did at previous companies, what your value was, what your results were. They want to make sure that you're the best of the best. At the same time, again, they understand that you don't have that much experience, and so they're going to want to look for other qualities. One of which is, are you interested in this company? And the second of which is my second point, are you curious? When you're early in your career, curiosity is a really important part of working life. You are just being exposed to the working world for the first time, where you're still new to it. You're being exposed to a brand new company, and no matter how many companies you've been to, the next one you go to will always be different in some way, in big ways, than any of the other ones you've been to before. So you're learning that. You're learning your industry, you're learning your role. There's just so much that you're learning. And, when you ask questions, it helps you learn things much more quickly. It helps you learn things on a broader level as well as a deeper level. Broader level in the sense that when you're asking questions, to everybody, you're going to learn more about the company. You're going to know how all the different pieces fit together, and that's very important. On the deeper level scale, when you're asking about your role, you're not going to be somebody that just accepts an answer. You're going to want to know why, and that helps you understand the reasoning behind things, so that in the future, if you ever need to change anything, you have all this information in your head. You have all this stuff that you learned, and that's really important to employers. So you want to ask that. Another reason is that you want to show off. You're going to be doing all this research to prepare for this interview in case the interviewer asks you certain questions. They are going to ask you questions to make sure that you actually know what you're talking about, that you've actually researched the company, but usually they're going to ask you more questions about your experience than about what you know about the company, because they know that, all you have at your disposal is Google. So they're not really going to ask you too much. But at the same time, Google is a fantastic tool. It will tell you a lot about a company, and it can actually, the information it can gather can actually wow your interviewers. So if you're going to be doing all this research anyways, you want to make the most of that. And you also want to use it to your advantage. And it's to your advantage to show off in an interview that you've done your research, because it really shows that you care. It really shows that you put forth effort and that you go full-fledged into what you're interested in. And so I'm going to show you how to formulate a question so that you basically show off what you know while asking a question. So it basically kills 2 birds with 1 stone. I'll show you that probably in my next video or the one after that. And then finally, another really important reason for why you want to ask questions is, especially if you're in an in-person interview, you're going to be interviewing with partners and with senior managers. These are people that have been doing their jobs for decades. These are people that spend 12 plus hours on a daily, 5 days a week, working. They probably even work on weekends. This is something that they spend the majority of their life doing. This is something where they have been successful. They're at the top of their game. And so this is something that they really care about, and they probably really care about the company that they work for as well. So this is something that's very close to their heart. So when you're asking them questions, especially, in this case, you would ask them questions related to their career or their role, or, their thoughts on the company, or what they really value in employees. You're basically giving them an ego boost because you're asking them about their life. This is their life. So, again, that's a very important reason for why you would want to ask questions in an interview. So these are my 4 reasons. I hope that they encourage you to want to ask questions in an interview, because I really do think that they're very important. I think that they can really be a turning point. They can really be that thing that makes you memorable. So in my next videos, I will talk about how to formulate questions. I will talk about the different questions that I've asked that I found to be very effective that you may want to include. So until then, thanks and bye.